Good afternoon. Welcome back to Insured Families Fun Facts, Equine Insurance, Episode 3. Yesterday we went over surgical endorsement and colic endorsement in Episode 2. Last week we covered the first episode, which was mortality that comes with the $5,000 emergency colic surgery included in your premium. Many of our insureds face the same fears that I do personally. When you saddle your horse up, anything can happen. The biggest problem that we face are those larger vet bills. Yes, horses are going to get nicks, bruises, just like you or I. But you and I can fall and break an arm, or you and I can have a sickness that's very expensive, whether it be an emergency room visit or whether it be hospitalization. Our horses are the same way. They're no different. They face the same problems we do. The medical coverages that we'll go over today are going to be very similar to what you or I would have for health insurance. Health insurance, you can have three basic policies or categories of those policies. You may be with the same carrier, but you may have a bronze package, or you may have a silver package, or a gold package. Basically, the differences in those for your health policy is going to be the deductible, the amount that you have to spend out of pocket, how much it's going to cover on medications, how much it's going to cover on surgery, those type things. Each package is going to be different. No different with the equine. Today, what we're going to discuss is not going to be carrier specific. We have multiple carriers that we go to, and just for generalization, we're going to call it the base terms. You've basically got MedAssistance is your entry level. MedAssistance is very similar to you or I having a bronze level health insurance policy. You're going to have coverages there for those sicknesses. You're going to have coverages there for a disease. You're going to have coverages for a surgery if you need. Your limits are going to be lower. However, a little different with the equine than a human's health policy would be, actually your deductible will be a little cheaper with the smaller packages, but your coverages are going to be significantly less as well. MedAssistance is going to be, for the most part, a $7,500 limit. So that's the sublimit that the policy carries. So it's going to pay, whether it be a sickness, whether it be a disease, a surgery, anything like that. It's going to pay up to $7,500, which is the limit of the insurance. Deductible wise, can vary from carrier to carrier, but for the most part, let's stay generalized in the middle, which is going to be $750 would be a deductible. Now, you can also go into ulcer treatment. You can go into some of your different laser treatment, stem cell therapies, those type things. And we'll get into those in a minute more in the comparison charts. So from the MedAssistance, this would be more where you would see an instance, hey, you know, I've got this horse, I do want some coverage, but I'm also conscientious about the price. Or maybe I'm covering multiple horses. Or maybe I have 3 horses. I want to cover my 1 and 2 with major medical, and I want to cover my number 3 with MedAssistance to have something to offset a huge vet bill that you may or may not have. The second level would be major medical. Now there's 2 levels of major medical, much like if you have a Blue Cross Blue Shield or United Healthcare plan, a silver package and a gold package is going to be very eerily similar. Same with the major medical. Your major medical limits, you're going to have one at $10,000 and you're going to have one for $15,000. Again, the deductibles are going to vary on that, but for the most part, your deductible on major medical $10,000 is going to run $1,000. Your deductible on a major medical $15,000 is going to run $1,500 for the most part. Now, again, there are some carriers that are a little different, and we can get into that on a one-on-one basis that applies to you and what you're needing coverage-wise for your particular horse. So with that being said, let's take this time to dive a little deeper into the actual differences of medical assistance, major medical $10,000 and major medical $15,000. Now again, keep in mind, I'm not giving carrier specifics here as we have multiple carriers, so we're going to give the generalization of it. You have the first major difference is in your limit of insurance. Medical assistance is going to carry a $7,500 limit. Major medical $10,000 is going to carry a $10,000 limit, and major medical $15,000 is going to carry a $15,000 limit. You also have your deductibles that are going to be different. Medical assistance is going to carry a $750 deductible. Major medical $10,000 is going to carry a $1,000 deductible, and major medical $15,000 is going to carry a $1,500 deductible. You're going to have, depending on carriers, some carriers are 100% pay after the deductible is met. Some of our carriers are a 20% copay, so that's where you hear say that 80-20 copay, 80% carrier, 20% insured after the deductible has been met. So again, depending on carrier and what best suits your needs of what that copay would be there. Looking into a little deeper part of that, initial differences between the three. If you look at, say, a degenerative joint or a navicular, all three of those are going to cover there, and they're going to cover the same. You're going to have the deductible. Once that deductible is met, and for purposes going forward, we will assume that the deductible has been met on the policy. So navicular, degenerative joint, you're going to have coverage there. All three of them is going to cover the same within the limits of the insurance. If you look at accident or injury, disease, you're all going to have the same coverages there within the limits of the policy. Where you really start to see differences when you get into like an ulcer deal. On med assistance, you're going to have a $500 sublimit for ulcers. You're going to have a $750 on the $10,000 major medical, and you're going to have a $1,000 on the major medical $15,000. So that's a little bit of the differences there. If you look at lameness diagnostics, x-rays, ultrasounds, that type thing, you're also going to have differences there. With the med assistance, you're going to have a $3,500 limit. With the major medical $10,000, you're going to have a $5,000 limit. And with the major medical $15,000, you're going to have a $7,500 limit there. So that's kind of some of your differences or your major differences in the three. Certainly all three of these policies are optional endorsements to the policy are good to add. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to what you need specifically for your horse, how much coverage you want to get. Some of our insurers will say, hey, I'd rather make the payment to the insurance company and have the extra coverage. Certainly fine. Some, hey, I'd rather self-insure that out of pocket. Again, certainly fine. No problem with that. So this is not telling you what coverage you need or what you should do with your horse. This is giving you options just to help educate you on what the differences would be in a med assistance, a major medical $10,000, and a major medical $15,000. So this is our episode 3. Tomorrow will be episode 4, which will be stallion, accident, sickness, and disease. If you guys are enjoying these educational videos, hey, please hit the like, please hit the share, please hit that follow button. And we thank you and look forward to the rest of you being a part of our family.